Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here to share with you about my paper. It is called I Yell at My Kids and It Works. It's none of your business. For all the people here, if you whether have kids or you don't have kids, you might bump into some of the discipline situation in your everyday life. Sometimes you will see parents on the street, they've done things that you don't feel it's okay. For example, they'll say like, if you're rolling on the floor again, you will have no lunch today. I've told you many times to hold the cups in both hands. Now see what you have done. What's wrong with you? So, this kind of things may also happen to you too. Well, some children can be tough to discipline, but for reacting to their negative behavior, everyone is different. Nowadays, most people still discipline their children from what their parents have taught or treated them. And yes, some can be dangerous. The truth is, decades of studying and researching, experts of early childhood education have developed a way of approaching children's guidance. It maintains children's self esteem and produces a desired change in behavior. In the world of science, this shouldn't be the knowledge for early childhood educators only. Learning positive guidance for young children is critical to everyone, both having children or not. Most of those are involved in guiding young children. If you're a parent, you will have a lot of guiding children moments. If you're not, you most likely will have a few of these moments too, such as siblings, friends, children. You may not need to discipline them, but the words you say, your response to certain behavior are meant to them. Moreover, it will affect their social interaction in the future. So, because we don't have the same roots while guiding our children, most parents use a carrot and stick controlling approach, while kindergarten teachers have learned and practiced positive guidance technique in the school. And the upsetting truth is, negative guidance may lead to children's increasing stress, according to Susan Colkin Mary Johnson, 1998. Parents who limit their use of controlling behavior but practice positive guidance techniques might be more successful in helping children acquire skills such as distraction to assist them in managing distress. Alternatively, a lack of such positive parental guidance may prove problematic for those children who are deficient in their own ability to manage behavior or who may be prone to experience emotional distress. So, in this new era where technology flies and knowledge explodes, many parents still stick to the traditional way of discipline. And the main reason is they don't know other ways. According to Marvel Marshall's Discipline Without Stress, Punishment, or Reward, and he stated, unfortunately, a carrot and a stick approach used to train rodents, birds, and animals is employed in much of education and parenting. Although behaviorism is touted for special education students who are given tangibles to reinforce desired behavior, this approach is often used now for all people. So I think most of us have some certain ways of discipline our child. Maybe you think maybe you're not doing anything wrong. What I'm saying is we hope that everybody should have the same roots to approach to guide the children, and you can gradually develop your own way, that's for sure, but the core, if we all stand in the same way and we can grow into our own guidance skills, that will be all the positive and benefit our children. It is important to have parents to learn the basic of early childhood education. Judy Hers, the person who wrote Teaching Young Children, she said, the relationship between families and teachers should be one of mutual support and learning. So if you have a newborn, and the nurse will teach you how to feed the baby, bathe, and change diapers, and what to be careful about. And the nurse will also tell you what babies will usually do and what's not to worry too much. However, when our babies grow to young children, there isn't a clear education to parents what their behaviors will be normal and how to react to these actions. Thus, most parents follow what their parents did to them when they were young, the tradition. So what your parents did to you and you naturally did to your children. And although when you were young, you didn't agree with certain behavior that your parents taught you, but you feel like when the things comes to you and you will feel like, hey, it worked for me, and maybe I'll just change a little bit, but I'll do it. I'll just do this way as my mom taught me. So we for all the guidance and discipline, most parents, they actually inherit from their parents what they did to them. So if one treated their children wrong, it would inherit to the next generation. And moreover, it creates a term we use in Chinese. It's called the mommy discipline theory. And every mother and every parent, father, has their own mommy's discipline theory. And most mothers are quite proud of it. Words like, if you don't listen to me, you will have more homework today. And we all know learning is a long process of will, and if you use homework as a punishment, and that will only cause the children to not like learning and not like absorbing new knowledge. But that is how my parent taught me, and that's how I will teach. I will use this against my child. So there is even a tradition is that to sting a crying child with a needle, and it will stop them from crying. And these some scary and dangerous tradition, they're all mommy discipline theory, whether it's tradition or parents' own experience with the child. And the key is here. If you tell them that they're wrong, they might tell you a theory in which states it works and no harm. Especially they say, it works for me and I'm okay. And it works for me when I was young. So, because everyone does not learn positive guidance for young children, challenge kindergarten teacher with mommy discipline theory becomes normal. Judy Hur, the person I was saying before, an early childhood education expert, awarded the prestige James Huff Stout Award for Outstanding Achievement by the University of Wisconsin Stout. With over 40 years of experience in the field, along with 9 expert reviewers published a textbook working with young children, it clearly states positive guidance for young children in Chapter 14. If you look at the website of Arizona Early Childhood Education Association, its orientation manual on the resources page, you will see similar things like Judy Hurst Chapter 14 on 5A-C. Communication and interaction with children and direct and indirect guidance techniques. You can also go check out Dr. Becky Bailey's Conscious Discipline. Similar things can be seen again, such as giving choices and express feelings. If you carefully study them, you will know they are from the same roots. Kindergarten teachers learn these skills from schools. They studied, interned, and examined. However, they're still being challenged by mommy's discipline theory constantly. And what's worse, some teachers are forced to follow the wrong way because of various reasons, such as schools compromising. Some may argue, every kid is different. How can any expert understand one's child, especially mine? Yes, every child is different. However, if you look at the goal of guidance, it is simply to produce a desired change in behavior. Effective guidance should maintain children's self-esteem and produce a desired change in behavior. Self-regulation and self-control are the long-term goal of guidance that was stated by Judy Hurd. And these behaviors, such as how do you approach to have children to clean up toys by yourself, and if they shout at you or being disrespectful, what do you do and how do you react? Positive guidance for young children is an approach to react these while maintaining their self-esteem. And these have been studied, researched, and evidence-based proved. In the end, we can all have our own style, but if we have the same roots, we won't hurt our dear ones. Many would also say positive guidance for young children may not work. Dr. Becky Bailey said, "There are no magic words or skill that will teach children emotional regulation on the first 50th try." Well, also, when children react to states of "I don't care," they are immune to both the consequence of their choices, the rewards we use to attempt to motivate, breed, teach to control them. Guidance is not just simply words. For positive guidance, there are many ways of reacting and saying the words, but it has to base on relationship building, trust, love, and interacting. That's the foundation, and then they will care about the words you're saying, and you can create a bond between you and your children. Positive guidance provides a way that we can react to children's behavior and how to approach and interact with the young children. For example, when a child opens a door for you and quickly give a smile and say, "Oh, thank you for opening the door for me. And if you do that, then I can just walk through now. Thank you very much." And if you do that, and the child is being positive reinforced, and they might do the same things again next time. So this is called positive reinforcement. So this is on Judy Hurd's working with young children. Rewarding positive behavior can help mold children's behavior. This technique is called positive reinforcement. That's in Judy Hurd's book, page 287. Also, when a child spills the milk, instead of saying words like, so they hold the milk, right? And then they just like, they're like, spill the milk, blah, blah, blah. And then you are like, "I've told you many times to hold the cup in both hands. Now look at this. Let's go to clean this mess. Let's go to clean up." Instead of saying that, you may say, you look at her, and you say, "Where is the rag?" And the child may think about it and go to clean up by herself. It is a guidance skill called prompting. Also in Judy Hurd's book, working with young children. So she stated, make prompting simple and non-critical. Prompt is a calm, impersonal manner. It's one of the guidance skills that all the kindergarten teachers and early childhood educators learned. Positive guidance also teaches young children to be independent and learn about feelings. We want our children to be empathetic, so that is a process through the guidance too. For example, listening is one of the guidance skills. While a child came to you and said, "Bob didn't want to lend me his toys," and many people would go like, "Okay, Bob, you cannot do that. We all must share. Give your toys to her." Or you will also tell Bob to come here. You say, "Bob, why didn't you lend the toy to her? We all need to share, and the toys belong to school. Everybody can play." Instead of saying that, giving advice, because we support independence, we say, "You're angry because Bob will not let you play with his toys." Learn that. So you teach her about her feeling, that why she's angry, and then she still has to deal with the problem by herself. And you can observe about how she react to Bob not lending the toys, and how Bob react too. So we want our children to be independent, not always to come to the adults and to think that's a way of solving problems. Positive reinforcement using consequences, prompting, suggesting, encouraging, persuading. There are more than 14 skills of positive guidance. All technique experts of early childhood education have researched and evidence-based. Also, the most important, they work without humiliation and hurting feelings. You will find them in Working with Young Children by Judy Hur, Conscious Discipline by Dr. Becky Bailey, How to Talk So Kids Will Listen, and Listen So Kids Will Talk by Adele Faber and Elaine Maslish. Positive Discipline by James Nielsen. You will find they're from the same roots and a lot of similarities. For the new generation of nurturing our dear ones, instead of using what your parents taught or inherit to you, everyone should give yourself a chance and open a new window of approaching discipline to your young children. Finally, I understand guidance may be like art, but there is a certain rhythm in it. Your kids came home, threw the bag on the floor, and ran to his toys. Instead of saying, "Yeah, you cannot throw the bag on the floor, go pick it up." Or you say, "Hey, why did you throw the bag on the floor?" Or you say, "If you throw the bag on the floor again, I will throw it to the garbage can." Or, "I can't take it anymore. I've told you many times to put the school bag in the closet. Come here." Things like that. For positive guidance, which they teach in the school for every early childhood educators, they would have the eye contact and say, "Jake, your closet is there." Thank you very much.